This comes as a huge blow to big tech. Norway has announced it will impose a fine of 1 million crowns a day on Meta, the parent company of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram, over privacy breaches. The new rule kicks in on the 14th of this month. This was announced by the country's Data Protection Authority. The Norwegian watchdog said Meta cannot harvest user data, including their physical location, and employ to send targeted advertising at them, a practice often used by most tech companies to generate revenue. The Mark Zuckerberg-owned company had until the 4th of August to address this issue and inform the regulator that it had handled it. However, Meta failed to take a call and the watchdog took action, with fines running till the 3rd of November. Authorities say, according to Meta, this will take several months at the very earliest for them to implement, and we don't know what the consent mechanism will look like, and in the meantime, people's rights are being violated every single day. Meta said the change was made to address regulatory requirements in the region and stems from an order in January by Ireland's Data Protection Commissioner. Meta's lead EU regulator to reassess the legal basis on how it targets ads. Norway is not a member of the European Union but is part of the European single market. This is not the first instance when Meta has received a hefty fine amount. In May, the company was fined a record $1.3 billion, that's 1.2 billion euros, by the European Union for failing to comply with a warning by the top EU court related to the data transfer of Facebook's EU users to servers in the United States. According to Ireland's Data Protection Commission, which acts on behalf of the European Union, the social media giant failed to pay heed to a top court warning aimed at protecting users' data from the security services in the US once it's shipped to servers across the Atlantic. The Commission also alleged that Meta continued data transfers to the US without addressing the risks to the fundamental rights and freedoms of people whose data was being transferred to the United States. Now, the DPC had been investigating Meta Ireland's transfer of personal data from the EU to the US since 2020. Meta has also been ordered to stop the processing of personal data of European users in the US within 6 months. Meta has said it would appeal the ruling, including the fine, and that there would be no immediate disruption to Facebook in Europe. The company said the root of the issue stemmed from a conflict of law between US rules on access to data and the privacy rights of Europeans. The FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection began investigating Facebook all the way back in March 2018 after it was revealed that personal data was illegally harvested from an online personality quiz and sold to Cambridge Analytica, a data analytics firm. There were subsequent claims that the data may have been used to try and influence the outcome of the 2016 US presidential election and the UK Brexit referendum. Although only 270,000 people took the quiz, whistleblower Christopher Wiley alleged that the data of some 50 million users, mainly in the US, was harvested without their explicit consent via their friend networks. But Cambridge Analytica was not the only firm to have access to users' personal data. The data was gathered using Facebook's infrastructure at the time, and many other developers had in fact taken advantage of it without authorization. Facebook was fined $500,000 by the UK's data protection watchdog for its role in the Cambridge Analytica data scandal.